Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.
All right, well, welcome to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux, and I am the Mortgage Mom. I took a week off last week. It was kind of nice to not have a show, I'm not going to lie, but I missed you all of you guys, and I am back. So remember that this is an interactive show. I do want you guys to ask me questions as we go throughout it, and I will stop. I'll read those to you, and I'll answer them out loud. So it is the very best way to be able to ask your questions and be somewhat, anonymous. If you're a little bit worried or concerned, little scared or shy to pick up the phone and give us a call or send us an email, this is a great way for you to be able to get those questions in and get them answered. You guys can watch us on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're streaming all three at the same time, and I'm on Mondays and Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So if you guys are back east or you're in the Midwest, just make sure that you are setting your clocks accordingly. I can see my aunt jumped on, my Aunt Lori, and she says hi. So hi there, Aunt Lori. Thank you so much for watching. And again, if you guys are out there and you're on the show and you're watching it, please make sure that you jump in, you tell me hi, and let me know that you are following along. So what is today all about? Today, we're going to be talking about this week's federal rate hikes as well as inflation. So, I don't know if you guys are all following along. I'm sure that you are. I'm sure that you're feeling that pain at the gas pump. I'm sure you're feeling that pain in the grocery stores. I'm sure that you're feeling that pain in your credit card minimum payments. You're feeling it all the way around. And so it's something that I felt was really very important for us to have a conversation about and to discuss today on the show. This is Mortgage Mom Radio, and I'm bringing you guys all of the education and information that I can on a weekly basis about all things real estate and mortgage. Now, why is inflation part of real estate or mortgage? Why is the gas pump or your groceries part of mortgage? Well, it's about budgeting. Everything is about budgeting. What can you afford? The price of your home, your monthly payments, your interest rates, part of inflation. So this is a very important episode, and we want to make sure that you guys are tuning in, and the more questions that I get from you, the better show that I can have. So make sure you guys are following along. If you don't know when I go live, the best way to know, if you guys want to watch me do it live, you want to see me stream it, and you want to be able to ask your questions, is to text the word MOM, M-O-M, to 844-935-3634. Text the word MOM to that number. It's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. That is the best way to get through to us. To know, you're going to get a link once a week to let you know that we are live. I will not spam you on Monday and Wednesday. I will pick one show each week to send you guys one link so that you can click on that link and follow along with us on YouTube. So that is the best way to get through. But when we return, I am going to take a super short break. When we get back, we're going to jump into inflation, this week's Fed meeting, and what we're expecting to happen from the Federal Reserve. Inflation, that's a big, huge topic right now. It just topped the highest number that we've had since 1981. So that is a big, big thing that is happening. And what does that mean to you? So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Debbie Marcoux is licensed by the Department.
All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux, and I am the Mortgage Mom. And today we are going to be talking about rate hikes, inflation, and what does that mean to you. So number one, if you guys are keeping up on the news, we know that as of Friday, which I don't even want to look at today. Today is Monday, but as of last Friday, the Dow actually dropped 880 points. Many of you guys that have cryptocurrencies are feeling it as well. We've seen some massive losses, and that is all due to the fact that they made a big announcement that inflation has hit a 40-year high, which is kind of scary. You hear that and you go, oh my gosh. So what does that mean to you, right? How can we help you here on Mortgage Mom Radio? Why are we talking about it? So number one, we're going to go through some tips and tricks, things that I was reading up on the internet, pulling up and seeing that they were recommending that you do in order to try to get your budget in order. You're feeling your gas prices go up. You're feeling just, your groceries go up. You're feeling homeowners insurance, car insurance, just about everything right now is more than what it used to be. I don't know how many of you have driven through a quick, McDonald's or, Carl's Jr. or Jack in the Box or Taco Bell run, but it is getting very, very expensive. And it is amazing what we used to buy. You remember the buck menu? Whatever happened to the dollar menu, right? Just doesn't exist anymore. And if it does, maybe it's a hot pocket. One of those, the packets, right? The hot sauce packets. So, it's getting very expensive, and that makes it very difficult to try to save money to buy a home. It makes it very difficult to budget the bills. It makes it very difficult to make the mortgage payments. So a very important topic that we definitely want to talk about today, and I want to make sure that I take you guys through those tips and tricks that they are talking about that I am reading up on and I'm agreeing with. I think that they're great. Now, number one, the most important thing to realize is that this week, the Fed on the 14th and 15th, and if you guys are listening to this by radio, you could be a week or two behind because of holidays. So keep that in mind, that if you are listening to this by radio across the nation, this show could be a week or two old. So if you guys want to see me do it live, you want to stream with me, you got to go to my YouTube channel, check it out. It's Mortgage Mom Radio, and you guys can watch this every single week. We are as up to date as we possibly can be by doing the shows live and letting you join us and interact and be part of it. So going back to what I was saying, on the 14th and 15th of this week, which is coming up Wednesday, Thursday, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, I believe, they are going to be the Federal Reserve. They're having their Fed meeting right now, and they will be releasing what the next Fed increase will be to the Federal Reserve prime rate. They have told us since last year, and then really they started pushing hard on it at the beginning of this year, which we have talked about, that they were planning to increase the interest rate by 0.5% every 6 weeks. So every time that they have a federal meeting, their plan is to increase the Federal Reserve prime rate by 0.5. Now, they then come out, this week and late last week and say that we have the inflation numbers are higher than they've ever been, highest numbers in 40 years, bringing us back to 1981. And now they are basically hinting at that they are planning to increase the Federal Reserve prime rate as expected, but rather than 0.5 by possibly 3/4. And my gut, as the mortgage mom, tells me that we're going to probably get that 3/4 price hike. So what does that all mean to you? What has happened over just the last couple of days? So they made that announcement that they possibly might consider bringing that rate up by 3/4 of a point. They made that announcement last Thursday. And let me just tell you that on Thursday, on Friday, and today, Monday, our interest rates have gotten significantly worse. You have seen the stock market has dropped significantly. You've seen crypto drop significantly with the fear that they are going to increase that interest rate and more than what they had promised to do previously. So chances are they are doing it. Interest rates are headed up. We have talked about that over and over and over again since last year. So actually at the beginning of 2021, all of these shows that I've been doing, I have been saying, Guys, we're on the elevator up. We're on the elevator up. Now, we were very, very, very slowly inching our ways up, right? We are no longer inching. We are very, very quickly changing. The interest rates are going up. So what does that mean to you? Why are we talking to you about that today? Well, if you've been thinking about buying a home, you've been pre-approved for a loan, you have a pre-approval letter already in your hand, you've already talked to your mortgage lender, you need to call again. And that's if you even talked with them last Monday. I have clients that I wrote pre-approval letters for last week. They wrote offers out on properties that they loved. They've been negotiating with the seller for the last, 4 or 5 days, getting offers accepted today on Monday from interest rates that we quoted on Thursday. It is a completely different monthly payment. It is a completely different interest rate. And for some of you, that may not be affordable any longer. Or maybe you were pushing your top end. You were trying to buy at the tippy top of what you could afford, and you no longer can afford that. And it can change like that, boom, overnight. Just like our stock market changed, boom, overnight. If you had, let's say that you had $1 million in there, and I want everybody to understand, this is not just hurting the little guy. This is literally hurting everybody. Even if you are a millionaire, let's pretend you had $1 million in the stock market and you lost 40%. You are no longer a millionaire. This is literally changing people's lives. So we want to make sure that we are budgeting accurately. We are getting you guys into your properties. We are making sure that your monthly budget, your cash flow is in order. And we want to help you to do that. We want to make sure that we're giving you all of the tools and tricks and advice that you need to make sure that you keep that coming. And I don't mean advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I want to give you the education that you need in order to make sure that you're budgeting accurately. So purchasing a home is still so important. Interest rates today are still extremely low. If you think back when they say, well, inflation's hit the top end of, since 1981. It absolutely has. But in 1981, the interest rates were in the double digits. And when I say double digits, I mean higher double digits. 17, 18, 16% is what you would have been paying for a mortgage back then. So as of today, interest rates are still very good, even being in the lower fives and, just kind of starting to break over 6%. Now, at the beginning of this year, if you guys had listened to me, we were actually in the very high threes, low fours, and then we got into the fives, and now we're starting to creep towards the sixes. So if you have been thinking about buying a home, get on it. If you have been thinking about trying to refinance, get some debt paid off, do some home improvement, take some money out of your home, get to it. Stop procrastinating. It is not helping you. It is making things worse. So I do want to remind everybody, this is an interactive show. You are more than welcome to ask me a question. I would be happy to read it out loud and answer it for you. If you don't have a question, you're just there and you're watching, please let me know you're there. Give me a thumbs up, say hi. Let me know that you guys are on with us right now. I can see that my dad jumped on. He says, hi, Bug, I'm at work. Dad, thanks so much. You're my biggest fan. I love that you always watch. And for anybody else out there, please jump on and let me know if you have any questions as we go through the show. So we're talking about federal rate hikes. We're assuming they hinted that we're not going to see a half a point this time. This coming week, we're going to probably see 3/4. So if you have been out there shopping for a home, looking for a property, writing offers, writing contracts, please call your loan officer back and make sure that you understand where interest rates are at, what that new monthly payment might look like. Even if you talked with them last Wednesday or Thursday, make sure that you do that again today because they are changing overnight. We've probably lost about 1/4 to 0.375% in rate. So let's say that last week you were quoted 5.5 or 5.75. You could possibly be at 6 or 6.125 today, and that's just a couple of days. So make sure that you are reaching out, you are budgeting, you are getting the monthly payment, you are understanding what you're running into, even if it's only been just a couple of days. I had Lanisha jumps on. She says hello. She gives me the thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. Raquel jumps on. She says, thanks for the info. Raquel, it is my pleasure. Thank you so much again for watching. And Carrie jumps on and says, hi, Debbie, great info. I think everyone is worried about inflation. And Carrie, you're right, because nobody really knows what does it mean, right? We all know that it's here. We can all feel it in our pocketbook. We all know that groceries are getting more expensive. We know when we go to the gas pump. I mean, I was just driving in the car yesterday, and I'm not even kidding. I saw diesel prices at $7 a gallon. And like I was saying earlier, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money that you have. It's not, oh, hey, those guys with those, RVs and those boats, they wouldn't own those things if they couldn't afford them. Well, let me just tell you, they bought them when gas was $2 a gallon. So they could probably budget it and afford it then. And now all of a sudden it's way beyond what was affordable. So we want to talk about some tips and tricks. What can you guys do to try to bring the budget down? Short of possibly debt consolidating and doing some refinancing. So we'll get into that towards the end of the show as well. But just a really important show, a very important topic, and anything that I can do to try to ease a little bit of pain for you and your family. So we had Edith Sandoval jump on. She says, do you foresee the economy going into a recession in the near future? Edith, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to walk up I'm just going to say it. I personally think that we're already headed there. I'm pretty sure that we are going to see a recession. With a recession does not always mean housing. So that is a very important topic for us to discuss as well, because many times, if you go back in history, if you guys actually all type into Mr. Google Pants, as we call him here at my office, go to Google and type in, previous recessions and housing. Usually the housing does not crash during a recession. Housing actually usually stays pretty darn strong. Now, in our most recent recession, when we started it started really in 06, started to get bad in 07. Many of you guys felt it horrible in 08. And then it started to recover in 09. That recession was actually due to a housing bubble. It was due to mortgage. It was due to what the mortgage companies were doing, basically by giving just about anybody that had a heartbeat and a FICO score a loan. And so that the actual housing bubble created the recession. This time it's inflation. This time it is other things. It is not the housing industry. So could we possibly see house prices come down? Maybe a little bit. I think what we're going to see truly is going to the crazy double digits of appreciation in your home. I think we're going to see that slow down. We're going to see properties start to level off and start to maintain value. I think if we were to see any kind of a dip whatsoever, it's going to be a small percentage. I think we might see maybe 10%, maybe a 20% correction. But for all of you new buyers out there or current homeowners, you guys have to think about this. If your property value drops 20% in equity, let's just say, and that's what I'm thinking is probably worst case scenario. And this is the mortgage mom's opinion. This is not, I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not an analyst, but I'm giving you my opinion after being in the business here for 28, 29 years now. If your property value drops by 20%, your interest rate right now, if you own a home today currently is lower than any interest rate you could possibly ever get. So your monthly payment is still going to be probably lower than a new home buyer that gets to buy your same house for 20% less. Besides the fact that over the last couple of years, you've gotten a double-digit appreciation each year, year over year. So if you've owned your home for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, that 20% is not even going to bring you back down to what you bought your house for. So not only did you buy low, but you also got in when interest rates were super low. If you own a home today and you're thinking about selling the house and going and buying another, I would tell you to do a double take. Don't do that. Hold on to that house. Hold on to it. Rent it out. You guys are going to make some money on that. This is where you're going to start to build your real estate portfolio. So there's a lot that can be done in a market where there is a recession. There's a lot that can be done, just like the stock market and crypto. You hear people make money every day, even when it's a bear market and things are dropping. This is when you guys are going to start to make money. This is where you're going to start to create real estate portfolios. So everybody stay tuned. Hold tight. Hi, Diane. I could see you got on. You said hello. Thank you so much for tuning in. But stay tight. Don't go anywhere. We are going to take a quick break just so I can get some water. And when we come back, we're going to keep talking about this great, this is good. This is great education. It's great information. And hopefully we're helping you to move on and put yourself in a better position. So don't go anywhere. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I am Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom, and today we are talking about the Fed rate hikes, what we're expecting to see this week. They are hinting at a 0.75% increase rather than a 0.5% increase. We've all heard all of the news about having the highest inflation numbers since 1981. That's within the last 40 years, highest inflation in 40 years. So what are we going to do to try to combat that? We are seeing, all of us are seeing our, stocks and our cryptos and our retirement accounts, our 401s, all of them are losing value right now. Everybody's kind of in panic mode. And I think that this was a really important show for us to have, because we want to talk about how to help you guys ease the pain a bit, budgeting, whether you're a homeowner today, whether you want to buy a new home, all that good stuff. I have William jumped on. He says, if I have a VA loan and my first payment was March 1st, 2022, will that prevent me from pulling equity out of the house for a period of time? Are there options to get a home equity line or a second mortgage? So, William, that is a very good question. So, number one, you bought the home with a VA loan. Most vets, which obviously we didn't do your loan, so I can't confirm what your financing was, but most veterans with a VA loan are going to get in with zero down. If your first payment was in March, then that means that you probably closed your loan in January. That's how that should work out. From January to June, you've probably got a little bit of equity, but probably not very much. So I'm not exactly sure how much equity you have in your home that would allow you to do an equity line of credit or allow you to do a refinance to pull cash. That would be something that you would want to either give us a call here at the office and discuss it with us and let us kind of walk you through that. Is there enough equity for you to be able to pull anything out? I think that's really important. And I think everybody listening needs to hear that. When you do a refinance, there are fees. So not only do you need enough equity to be able to cover the fees, but you need enough equity that to then have additional cash that you can get out of the home. For a conventional loan, you can only go up to 80% to take out cash in a normal refinance, where an equity line of credit is going to let you go to a higher loan to value. You could probably go 95 to even possibly 97, depending on your credit score and the occupancy of the home. So everybody listening, just call us, dial it right now. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. It's WELEND and the number 4. Call our office right now. We've got the girls that can take your calls. They can answer your questions and get some numbers. I promise we don't bite. We're not going to hound you. We're not going to track you down. We're going to answer those questions for you so that you know what your options are. Stop procrastinating, guys. Interest rates are going to get worse. They're going to get worse on equity lines. They're going to get worse on equity loans. They're going to get worse on first mortgages. If you wanted to buy a house. Get out there and do it and get pre-approved. If you want to learn how to buy a house, come to one of our workshops. Call the office, get yourself a ticket for the next upcoming event that we've got going on. If you want to pull money out of your home, stop wondering what you can do, pick up the phone and just find out. Whether it be a refinance or whether it be a home equity line of credit, depending on how much equity you have in your property right now and what your current interest rate is on your home, talk to us about it. So call us. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. I love that you guys are really getting into this today. You guys are asking a lot of questions. Lanisha says, yes, it is. Thank you. You're very welcome. William says, trying to avoid the interest rates jumping through the roof. William, I agree with that. We just need to figure out how much money did you put down? What's your home worth today? And then be able to work through with you how much cash would be available for you to take out of the property. And that is a super simple phone call. So call us. We'd love to help you. Umberto, he gets on. He says, so is this a good or a bad time to buy a home? So I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a great time to buy a home, guys. So in right now, my opinion, mortgage mom opinion, buying a home today. So number one, interest rates are still very low. And if you lock in a rate today, I promise you it will be a better interest rate than what it will be next year in 2023, June of 2023. Today is better, guys. Today is better. So not only are you getting a lower interest rate, but just like I started talking about at the beginning of the show, if you own a home and you bought it last year or this year or the year before, or any time before, you've either refinanced into an interest rate that you'll never get again, or you bought into an interest rate that you'll probably never get again. So why in the world would you sell your home? If we don't have properties on the market for sale, then there's nothing to buy. It's going to keep the property values high. Even if we go into inflation, we go into recession, we go into all of these different things that make things a little bit more expensive and harder to live for all of us. We're not going to see a ton of properties drop hugely in value. And the payments that you have right now locked in today on your home are going to be better than even if you buy the house at a lower price at a higher interest rate. That payment will still be more. So, Umberto, get yourself approved, get yourself pre-approved, get out there, start looking for a home, buy a property. You guys, stop procrastinating. That is what I'm telling you. You guys need to buy a house, and you want to get on that as soon as you can, because again, even if property values drop, if interest rates go up, which they are going to, we are expecting that they are going to make that announcement either tomorrow or Wednesday, that not only are they increasing the rate, but they're taking it up by 3/4 of a point rather than a half like they promised. If we see that continue to happen every six weeks through 2023, we're going to be in a much higher interest rate bracket at the end of this year, much higher interest rates next year, 2023. Property values are probably going to stay pretty stable. And even if they drop, even if you can buy that house for less, you are going to pay more for that house because that interest rate is high. And if you're like me, there is no way I'm selling my house right now and getting rid of the loan that I actually locked into a very low interest rate last year. So get on it, guys. If you want to buy a house, you got to do it. You want to come to a workshop, call the office, get yourself a ticket for the next one that we've got coming up. Come out and learn. Let us help you. If you've been negotiating, you've been looking, you've been pre-approved, please call us and get reapproved. Please call your current loan officer and get your file updated. Whatever you have to do to make sure that you guys are still looking in the right price range, because interest rates are jumping, and they are jumping very, very fast. So we had William jump in. He says, sorry, I have about $100,000 in equity. William, that is awesome. You can absolutely refinance, and you can absolutely get some cash out, or you could pull some equity out with an equity line or an equity loan. Now, talking about equity lines and equity loans, guys, we have those products available now too that we can do for you right here at Mortgage Mom Radio. We announced that a couple of weeks back. Me and Heidi had a show. We can help you guys with those. But number one, I want to tell you, if you're thinking about pulling out $50,000, $75,000, whatever that number might be, if it is a big number, think twice about those equity lines. Those equity lines have a lower interest rate than the equity loans. Yes. The equity lines have a lower monthly payment than the equity loan. Yes. But the equity line is an adjustable line of credit. It works just like a credit card. It is directly tied to the Federal Reserve prime rate. And every single time they increase that interest rate, you will see your minimum monthly payment increase. We don't want that to happen. We want you to budget, like I started at the beginning of the show with. Budget, budget, budget. Do not take on debt that you cannot afford. So make sure that whatever the loan amount is that you take as a loan, a fixed rate loan, is a payment that you can afford, and lock it in. Because trust me, that equity line will end up just as high as that loan eventually. That equity line will never pay the principal balance down. In 10 years from now, you have a balloon where you need to get it paid off or refinanced. And who knows where things will be in 10 years from now. So take yourself a loan. Please take mom's advice. Word of caution, word of advice. If you want to get money out using a second mortgage, take an equity loan, not an equity line. That is just my opinion. Now, again, opinion. If you are someone that makes commissions for a living, or you get big bonuses for a living, and every now and then, once or twice a year, you get a big bonus, or, every month you've got commissions that you can use to pay the equity line off. You've got the funds available to get that thing paid off, in a snap of a finger if necessary, then an equity line is great, because you can use it pay it off, use it, pay it off, use it, pay it off. That's great. It's just like a credit card. But many of us are not in that situation. We've got, budgeted income the same way as our budgeted bills. We always make the same. We're on a salary. It doesn't fluctuate. Get into a payment that you can afford. The equity line is not the direction for you to go. So Drew jumps on. He says, I'm glad this show is honest and upfront with everything. Mortgage Mom Radio truly wants to help us. Drew, you are absolutely correct. That is what we are here for. That is what we're trying to do. I want to make sure that we're educating all of our listeners and helping you guys to succeed. So we are going to take a super quick break. I love the interaction today. If you guys want to interact, you're listening by radio, you wish you were part of the show, you wish you could ask a question, you got to text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. You can text the word MOM. You could text the word workshop to that number. That's going to get you a link to sign up for the next homebuyer workshop that we've got on the books if you want to come out and join us and learn all about buying a house. You can call that same telephone number if you'd like, and you can get somebody on the phone right now. But if you text MOM to that number, you will get a text message once a week with a link to the YouTube channel. And you can watch me do this live. We're streaming. You guys are seeing me do it. You're seeing me mess up my words. This truly is how I get the sound that we take to radio for our weekend shows. But you get to interact. You get to ask your questions. And you guys are what makes my show so special. So I would love for you to all be included. Please text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. And with that, we're going to take a super quick break, and we'll be right back. All right. So welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. And today we are talking about Fed rate hikes that they were hinting to the fact that when they get together this week, they're in meetings today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, which sometimes they'll make the announcement tomorrow. Sometimes it'll be Wednesday. But they were hinting last week to the fact that they were going to not only increase the Federal Reserve prime rate the way we expect them to once every 6 weeks through 2023, but that they are talking about possibly increasing it more than a half, as indicated previously, and this time by 0.75%. So what does that mean to you? Well, it means that everything is getting more expensive everywhere, right? Lending's getting more expensive. Buying a home is getting more expensive. The monthly payment for the same house that you saw a year ago is getting more expensive. If you were pre-approved for something for $600,000, $500,000, $200,000, it doesn't really matter. But let's say you were pre-approved for that back in February or March, and you've been looking for homes. You just haven't found one yet. You're no longer pre-approved for that same number. So you guys definitely need to pick up the phone and give us a call, and let's see where you are today. How have things changed? If you have a lender that you really love working with, we're all about that. Again, this is an educational show. We'd love to earn your business, and we want you to call our office and let us help you through the transaction. But if you've got somebody that you prefer to work with, pick up the phone and call them right now and double check, make sure that you are still moving forward at those same numbers that you guys discussed previously. Again, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I have a client that made an offer last week. They started negotiating on Monday, and they are just wrapping it up today. They should have that contract signed. And as of today, 1 week later, we're about 0.5% higher in rate than we were when I was talking to them early last week. And that makes a big difference for your budget. So definitely make sure that you guys are reaching out and you're asking those questions. talking about budgeting, right? A lot of us have credit card debt. A lot of us have car loans, student loans. Student loans are going up, guys. A lot of those student loans are also adjustable rates. If you have an equity line of credit that you've had for a long time, your interest rate was super low. That's starting to go up on you quite a bit right now. If any of you have debt consolidation loans that you've taken out, many of you have done those personal debt consolidation loans. If you guys own a property, utilize it. Call us and let's see what we can do. Maybe a refinance doesn't make sense because your interest rate is really low, and an equity loan would make sense to consolidate all the rest of your debts and get it all wrapped up into one. Maybe it does make sense to refinance the first mortgage. And I hate to say that. You might be thinking, well, why in the world? I bought my house, I got a 3% rate. Why would I want to take 6% today? Well, it depends on how much debt you have. If you have an equity line of credit, if you've got student loans, you've got car payments, you've got credit cards, and those credit cards are at 18, 19, 20%. And guys, trust me, I have seen numerous clients with 30, 40, 50,000 in credit card debt. When you've got debt at 18, 19, 20, 25% sometimes, and then we do a blended rate calculator and we look at what are you actually paying, even though your rate on your mortgage is 3%, what are you actually paying with all of your debts combined? You truly may be better off at a 6% rate on your mortgage, everything wrapped up into one, and one monthly payment that you can afford that you're budgeting for. Now, Mom's going to tell you, if you got 50 grand in debt and credit cards and we need to refinance and you're going to lose your low interest rate because we need to get you all caught up, how about we cut those credit cards up? Don't close the accounts. Don't close them. We need them for your credit scores. We need to make sure that your credit scores stay high. You never know when you need your credit. So you don't want to close accounts, but maybe cut those cards up or put them in the drawer, give them to your mom and tell your mom, don't give it to me unless it's an absolute emergency. You do need to, at this point in time, you need to learn how to budget and you need to control yourself. Everything is more expensive. Like we said, your gas is more expensive. Your groceries are more expensive. Your student loans are more expensive. Everything, your credit card minimum payments are more expensive. Everything is more expensive right now with inflation. So we need to make sure that we can learn to control ourselves and pay it off once and leave it that way. That is very, very important. So if you guys feel like you are struggling a little bit, and please hear me out, please. Do not wait until you are in a position where it's too late. When you've got too much debt, your credit score will drop significantly, which will make it very difficult for me and my team to be able to offer you any kind of a solution to get out of the situation that you are in. So number one, don't wait until it's too late. If you see everything starting to get racked up, you know you're probably not going to be able to get that paid off. Your credit score is still in a pretty decent spot. You're not completely maxed out. Call us then. If you are completely maxed out and you guys are struggling, call us. Let us see what we can do to help you. There are many, many options out there. They're just not the greatest. We might have to do a 2-step process where maybe we get you the cash you need, get everything paid off, get your credit score increased, and then turn around and get you into some better financing later. But you can hear me talking. I'm begging you guys, please call us in advance of getting to that point if you can, so that we can try to, do it in one shot versus having to do it in multiple steps. Every time we do a refinance, every time we do a mortgage, there are fees involved. There's an escrow company, there's a title company, there's title insurance, there's loan fees, there's appraisals, guys. That stuff's not free. So just keep in mind that, the sooner that you can reach out knowing that your budget is getting out of whack, the better that you're going to be and the faster that we're going to be able to get you guys put back into a good position. It's very, very important. If you rent, I want you guys to hear this. We've been talking all day. Should I buy right now? Should I buy? Should I buy? Is it still a good time to buy? If you rent a home and inflation is going up, interest rates are going up, the people that buy the homes that rent them to your landlords are going to have to pay more money to hold that property. Their homeowners insurance is going up to insure it. So when it costs more money to hold onto a property, your rents are going to go up. So trust me in telling you that your rents, if they have not already been increased by your landlord, it's coming and it will come. So if you are a renter, Make sure you're looking into buying a home. Can you buy a home? What does buying a home do for you? It locks in a monthly payment. And that way you guys can budget. This show is all about budgeting, inflation. It's at its worst spot in 41 years, right? 40 years, since 1981. I mean, it's crazy, right? We need to make sure that we're getting you guys into a good place. Buying property, owning your home, interest rates are still low, refinancing your property, taking cash out, getting your bills under control. That's all very, very important. So here's some more tactics. I've been holding my little paper here, but I did some research for you guys. I've been, using Mr. Google Pants and kind of seeing what is everybody suggesting, right? So this is some of the things that I came up with. It says how to hedge against inflation. And this was just brought up two days ago, right? This was an article that came up. So it says, reassess your spending habits. If inflation is making it difficult to stay within budget, which, guys, that's where I was going with the RVs and the boats, right? If I see on one more of these Facebook forums, somebody say, well, if you own an RV, you can afford the $7 a gallon. You know what? You bought the RV when it was $2 a gallon. I don't want to hear people say that, right? We budget to what we know. Nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody could have foreseen where the future was going. Nobody knew that, gas prices were going to go where they were going to go. Nobody knew where the insurance was going to go. I mean, trust me, insurance has gone up so much. Cars, boats, RVs, homes, everything that you insure is getting more expensive for the insurance. So, these aren't things that somebody budgeted for 3 or 4 years ago. And now all of a sudden they have these toys and now they don't want to sell them. Obviously not. Hopefully things come down. They want to use them, but can they budget it? It's hard, right? So if it's, you need to reassess your cash flow and where it's going. In fact, 83% of the Americans say their spending habits have changed in response to inflation. So, 33% are adopting more conservative spending habits. So keep that in mind. What are some of those spending habits that you guys can cut down on? Back in, I want to say when I first started the show, like 2016, 2017, we used to talk about a lot about buying a house, first-time buyers, home ownership. What do you do? How do you save your money for your down payment? And I used to tell people, stop driving through Starbucks. Stop buying coffees, stop buying breakfast sandwiches, start buying, food and making food at home, right? And that was something that we used to talk about back then. Well, nowadays, there wasn't Postmates and DoorDash and Grubhub and Instacart. Think about how much money that you're spending on those services. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry for the Instacart, and I'm sorry that I might be hurting your apps, but think about what you guys pay. There's annual fees. Sometimes people pay monthly fees. There's always going to be a tip that you're going to pay when you ordered that way. So think about what could you save if you truly did budget out your week, and not just budget out your week money-wise, but figure out your menu, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Make your list the old-fashioned way. Drive to the grocery store and go get what you need. And budget. Now, why do I say budget? Budget food? Okay, so think about it. If you've got a certain recipe that you're going to make and it calls for half of an onion, then make another recipe that calls for the other half of the onion, right? So we can not only budget our money, but we can budget the food, and we can go to the grocery store and we can actually try to save ourselves some money in that way. Gas, right? Gas is expensive. How do you start trying to save for gas? Because everywhere you go, you got to put gas in your car, right? Electricity is getting more expensive. You guys buy the electric cars and you go and you plug in, and then all of a sudden you got this really high electric bill. So if you own a house, you can do things like a staycation, right? There's many things that you guys can do. So here's a couple of the things that they were saying in this article would be a good idea. So it says, start by determining if there are things that you can temporarily do without to ensure essential needs are covered, like your housing, your groceries, your transportation, and your utilities. So for many, this reassessment may result in pressing pause on non-essential expenses like dining out, subscription services, or gym memberships. So yes, right? Do you need the LA Fitness gym membership? Do you guys need the YouTube Red so that you don't have to watch the commercials? Is there something you guys can do with cable? Can you get a Hulu or a Netflix and have that only? Maybe you're like my family who's going to like wake up real soon and find nothing working, and we've got YouTube Red, and we have Netflix, and we have Hulu, and we have Paramount Plus, and we have NBC. Now we got rid of cable, but then all of a sudden we added all of these other apps, right? So maybe it's time to bring it down to 1 or 2 apps. That's it, right? So we've got to figure out where are the extras that we're spending that we can cut back to make more room for the utilities and the groceries and the gas, right? Because those are important things. The vacations, we may have to not go as far. If your thought process was we're going to do cross-country tour and you started planning that in January, well, maybe it needs to be a half-country tour. So definitely we need to try to start bringing those things down. So this one says, take on debt sparingly. Although debt interest rates are low during the pandemic in an attempt to offset inflation, it has raised rates in 2022. When rates go up, variable rate debts can suddenly cost more. So this is what I was talking to you about with your credit cards. You're seeing that your minimum monthly payment due on your credit card is higher than what it was last year, even if your balance is the same. And that is because the Federal Reserve is increasing the federal prime rate, which is what your credit card is tied to. So that is going to continue to go up. We've got to get that debt down. If we can get that debt down, if we can get that debt paid off, that debt goes away. If we can get some of those subscriptions taken care of, that goes away. If we can cut back on maybe the length, maybe however many days you were going to go on vacation. We understand vacation's important, guys. You got to get out. You got to let loose a little bit. It can't be all work every day, no vacation whatsoever. But maybe staycation, maybe half of what you were going to do, maybe 3-4 days instead of 7 or 10, maybe halfway across the country instead of all the way across the country. Just start thinking in advance and trying to consolidate what you can and make it, start to save wherever absolute possible. So this next thing says, become a sale shopper. So I'll tell you what, I'm feeling like crypto might be on sale right now, right? Just kidding. We're all feeling that. It's not very funny. I'm watching my portfolio go, woo. But guess what? It will come back. That's what we all have to do, is we all have to tell ourselves it will come back. It will come back. So become a sales shopper. So it says, speaking of essentials, now is the time to get more serious about becoming a bargain hunter. This doesn't mean that you need to turn into an extreme couponer, but rather that you might pay more attention to sales and allow them to guide where and when you shop. 47% of people are paying more attention to sales and discounts in response to rising inflation, according to NerdWallet's survey, while 25% say they're switching to cheaper brands and 20% are buying more items in bulk. So maybe it's time for that Costco or that Sam's Club membership. Maybe it's time to dump that LA Fitness membership. Get yourself a treadmill, walk at home. So there's things that we can do. You guys have to sit down. You've got to write out every single expense you have. And please believe me, you will forget expenses that you pay. So what you want to do is you want to pull out your bank statement and your credit card statements and go through them one line at a time, the most recent month. Pull everything from May 2022 and look at every charge that went through your bank account and every charge that went through your credit card. And from there, you can see everything that you would have spent, what charged you, what subscriptions can you get rid of in order to try to help you to start budgeting for later. And then it says, be strategic with your savings. Rising prices aren't the only negative effect of high inflation. It can also mean earning less interest on your savings. If you're worried about the volatility of investments or you don't like variable rates or of high interest savings accounts, consider a guaranteed investment certificate. So basically they're talking about CDs, put money into CDs, something that's just a long term, put your money in there where things are a little bit more stable. So there are lots of things that you guys can do, lots of tips and tricks. I just wanted to kind of pull some of those out of there for you. I thought it was a really good show topic for today, considering that we're probably going to see about a 3/4 rate hike just coming this, Tuesday, Wednesday. Again, remember, if you guys are listening to this show by radio, this is probably a couple of weeks behind. You've got to watch us do it live. I'm streaming it on YouTube every Monday and Wednesday. If you don't want to miss out, you want to be part of it, you want to be part of the show, you want to ask your questions, you want want me to read them out loud and answer them for you, you got to text the word mom to 844-935-3634. You can also text workshop to that number, and you will get a link with the most recent upcoming homebuyer workshop, so you can sign up and get your tickets for that. So we'd love to see you in person learning all about how to buy a house. If you have not bought a house already, but you've been pre-approved, please reach back out, call your lender or call us, and let us make sure that you're still qualifying for what you had started at last week, the week before. It is really, really important to be best friends with your loan officer right now. Please hear me out on that. If you have been procrastinating, you have not refinanced, you need to pay off some debt, talk to us, give us a call, talk to us about equity loans. I really like those more than an equity line, but talk to us about equity loans. Talk to us about how low the interest rate is on your current first mortgage. Have all of your bills in hand, every credit card, every student loan, every personal loan, anything that you might owe. If you've got back taxes that you owe to the IRS, whatever it is that you may owe, make sure you've got it in hand when you give us a call, and let us figure out if a refinance makes sense, or does maybe a second mortgage make sense for you to help you guys get that budget under control. The same phone number that you text mom or workshop to, you can also call us to get yourself an appointment or talk to somebody right away. Most of the time, we have somebody available for a live transfer to speak with immediately. So give us a call. It's 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. That's WELEND and the number 4. So with that, we're going to take a super quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap things up. All right, so welcome back to Mortgage Mom Radio. I'm Debbie Marcoux. I am the Mortgage Mom. Today we were talking about the rate hikes that are coming. As of last week, Thursday, Friday, they made the announcement. They think they're going to bring it up at least 3/4 rather than a half. That in itself has sparked a major crash of the stock market, a major crash of all the cryptocurrencies. We have seen, inflation they're talking about has hit an all-time 40-year high. What does that mean to you? Today's show was all about tips and tricks that you guys can do to try to get the budget under control. We've talked about purchasing a home. Is right now a good time to buy? Quick answer is yes. We've got homebuyer workshops that we're doing about every 6 weeks or so for you guys. So if you did not make it out to our last workshop, we've got one June 25th. We have another one coming after that. I've probably already got those tickets prepared and ready for you. All you got to do is text the word workshop or RSVP to 844-935-3634. That's 844 We Lend for You. WELEND and the number 4. Text mom, workshop, or RSVP to that number, and you will get a link to sign up for the next upcoming homebuyer workshop that we have available for you. Let's teach you guys all about buying a house and get you into a home so that you have got a monthly payment that will stay the same and it will not move, and you own your house and nobody can kick you out, nobody can raise your rent, and nobody can tell you that you have to move. So that's very, very important. If you own a home today and you are finding that you are starting to struggle, you're swimming in debt, you don't know what to do, the gas prices are killing you, the grocery stores are killing you, the utilities are killing you, and you're finding that you're starting to swim a little bit, give us a call. Let's see what we can do with some of that equity you guys have, because trust me, if you own a house today, you've got equity. So let's see what we can do to try to get that budget back under control. Again, the best thing to do is to call us. It's 844-935-3634, or go to our website. Go to mortgagemomradio.com and you can contact us right through the website. We've got tons of great information there. Everything that you could need is on the website. So mortgagemomradio.com, and you can even book your own appointment. So really quickly to finish out the show, Umberto jumps on. He says, let's say rates do increase on Wednesday. Isn't too late to lock in a rate before the so I think he's asking, is it too late to lock in a rate today? So number one, that's a great question. And I do want you to all hear me out. We do have a lock and shop program. So if you are thinking about buying a home and you want to lock in before you have found your home of choice, that is a program that we do offer, and you can lock in that interest rate for 90 days all the way up to 120 days. As a matter of fact, I think we even have one that'll go as far as 150 days. So you can definitely get yourself locked in prior to finding a home, locking in today's interest rate, getting yourself pre-approved. So again, you've got to pick up the phone, you have to call us, and you have to talk to us, get yourself pre-approved, and then we can lock in that rate. If you're thinking about refinancing, call us right now today. Umberto, call us right now today if you're thinking about refinancing, but I'm pretty sure you were the one that asked me a question about buying a house. But if you have been thinking about refinancing, pulling out equity, getting an equity loan, whatever it might be that you guys need to utilize the equity in your home, don't wait any longer. Like I said, all throughout the show, stop procrastinating. So again, go to mortgagemomradio.com. Do not forget the radio, guys. I am the Mortgage Mom, but this is Mortgage Mom Radio. So it is mortgagemomradio.com. YouTube is Mortgage Mom Radio. Facebook is Mortgage Mom Radio. If you guys enjoyed the show, please give me a thumbs up. It truly helps the algorithm. Subscribe to my channel. That's really helpful as well. If you guys are watching via Facebook, give me a thumbs up. Follow along on my page. And we would love to see you guys every week while I do this. It's so great that you all jumped on today with all of your questions. Text the word MOM to 844-935-3634. That will opt you in. I promise I'd record 2 shows a week, but you'll only get 1 text message per week. I will not spam you, but at least you can jump on, you can click the link, jump on and watch the YouTube and do it with us live. All the interaction you want, ask as many questions as you want, and you're going to get them all answered. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope I gave you guys some great tips, tools, and tricks, and I will be back again, same time, same day next week, Monday at 1 Pacific time, right here on YouTube. I hope you all have a great one. Talk to y'all real soon. Bye-bye.
Debbie Marcoux, licensed by the Department of Financial Institutions and MLS ID 237926. Also licensed in Arizona 0941504, Florida LO 76508, Georgia 69178, Idaho, Nevada 57237, Oregon, Tennessee 184373, Texas, Washington MLO 237926.
She's the mortgage mom. She can get things done when you're in need and don't know where to go. Pick up the phone and call mom.